Good morning, everybody.
Hi, I'm Katie.
So, where are you? What are you with?
I work at Rehab Visions, and I am a pediatric physical therapist.
And so I asked Katie to come on and do a little Facebook Live so that she can kind of answer some questions for us and then give us also some demonstrations, shall we say. So Katie and I see a lot of the same patient base, so I thought it'd be really great to have these, in a sense, especially the stretches, documented. So then people would actually know what they're doing. So, Katie, first of all, explain to us, what is the difference between PT and OT?
Physical therapist is going to focus on more of the gross motor skills, motor control, the developmental milestones of walking, crawling, sitting, jumping, and skipping, where an occupational therapist is going to be working on emotional regulation, fine motor skills, behaviors, that kind of stuff.
Awesome. So, okay, first of all, what are some stretches that because, for instance, torticollis, that's a huge one.
Right.
So, a lot of moms will say, what are some things that I can do at home? So, what would you tell the moms?
So, don't feel like you're missing something is the first thing I tell moms, because 47% of kids have torticollis by 2 months of age. It's related to how they're positioned in utero, and it just kind of is part of being a baby. So my two favorite stretches that I like to do, one of them is you cuddle the baby kind of tummy to tummy this way, and you have them turn their head all the way to one side. One side may be more difficult than the other side. So that's one of my favorite stretches, is this position. With torticollis, you get a tightness of the neck muscle, so that they usually have a tilt to one side and a rotation to the other. So that's why there's two stretches, one for the rotation and then one for the tilt. So for the tilt, I like to stretch them this way so that I'm stretching out this side of their neck right here, like that.
Awesome. And I think we both, you and I got together at one point and we were talking about, really if you can notice it early on, all the better. Instead of waiting, it'll take care of itself, because a lot of times it can lead to other things down the road as well. So early detection is always super key. And one thing that you will tell your parents is what? We're always taking pictures with our phones,
you
right?
See it a lot of times on their phone. You may not even notice that they're tilting. So often parents will say, well, I didn't notice it until my doctor brought it up or something like that. And then I have them go back through their phone, and their kid is always tilted to one side in the car seat, and when they go back and think about how they're sleeping at night, they're always sleeping to the same direction. And so that's just that torticollis that we're talking about and that we're trying to look for.
And sometimes they hate the tummy time. So a lot of times what I'll tell parents is, if you're on your back and the kid's on your chest, that's tummy time too. And it does help with stretching as well, because then they gotta get that strength up in their neck and everything. So I love that. And they're like, that counts as tummy time? I'm like, yes, whenever you can do anything for them on their tummy, do it. Whatever makes them happy. And that usually is an easier way than just putting them on the floor. And moms are 2 seconds and they're crying.
They cry on the floor, just flat. And when they're on your chest, they have your face to look at. It's so much more enjoyable. That tummy time is so much of what we're doing in the clinic. Yes, I'll show you a few stretches, but usually once you stretch them, they tolerate it, they're showing full range of motion, and now we just have to work on the strength to make it so that they're equally strong to each side. So tummy time is a huge part of the strengthening, and it leads into all the other reasons that I could see a kid. Yeah. Often if I'm seeing someone for not sitting yet or not walking yet, or could be a lot of things, they have an underlying, they hated tummy time as a kid. So if you could eliminate it at tummy time, then you could eliminate needing services later.
Yeah, and that's the big thing too. The sooner you catch these things and the sooner you get help, usually the quicker they will resolve themselves too. They don't have a year under their belt and then like you said, a lot of times positioning in utero, things like that you maybe didn't have any control over, we can nip that in the bud right away versus waiting until they're a year.
And it's so much easier at 2 months compared to even 6 months. Those 4 months make a big difference.
Yep. And so I know for PT, a lot of times if they go to the medical doctor, they can get a referral. Right. But chiropractors can refer as well. So that's the nice thing. A lot of times if we're what we're doing is working with the nervous system. We're really wanting to get the nerves that control those muscles, get those actually communicating the best that they can and functioning at their best. And then you're working on those muscles, which is like, it goes hand in hand so well. So sometimes we'll say, yeah, like maybe you want to go see a physical therapist. So chiropractors can refer as well, which is great to know because a lot of people don't know that. They think that they have to have the medical doctor referring them as well. So anything else that you want to mention? Any like frequently asked questions that you want to answer? Or
I think the biggest question I get is, really, you work with kids? Like, that's, what are you seeing kids for? And it really is so many things. Toe walking, or any genetic difference, or any neurological injury that happens at birth, or abnormality that occurs during pregnancy. Just so many things.
And it's not just like those special needs kids. I mean, I think that that's usually what people are thinking of. Like, why would my child, you know, but you can always benefit from it. So I think that that's really important to know. Like, if people are even like, well, would I benefit? Would I not? It's not going to hurt to like go and at least ask and get a consult and things like that. So
because then we could just give you a home exercise program, and then that's all you do. You work on it and check in later if needed, and maybe not.
Maybe don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, reach out to Katie. She's at Rehab Visions, or to me, and I can get you in touch as well. Have a good morning, everybody.
Thanks, Kylie.